Hey, 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 it's Othania here from Create Your Future. So today I'm going to talk about shifting unwanted circumstances, okay? How do you shift unwanted circumstances? It's a little easier than you think. Once you get a hold of it and to get a better understanding of it, you should be able to definitely navigate this whole thing better for yourself. But before I get into that, I have a new course. It's called the Confidence Alchemy course, and it's for love and success so that you can always be chosen. And I've created prompts for you to fill out that will get to the root cause of the issues that are going on so that we can pull them out, get rid of them, see what you're thinking, change it, and that way you can be able to push forward and actually experience what it is that you want to experience. Okay. It's a wonderful course. It's a great course. I used it for myself and I've also gave it to two of my friends, and I've gotten great feedback from it. So that's how I know that it's ready to go. And I can't wait to get great feedback from you guys from it. You can find, if you look interested in that, you can find the link for that in the description box below. Okay. So, how to shift unwanted circumstances? Okay. Well, understand that your tomorrows are created today. Your todays create your tomorrows. Okay. So, if you're having unwanted circumstances, then that means still today that you're still thinking dominantly in ways that are not favorable for you. And you change that by understanding what it is that you're thinking and what you're doing. Because everything is happening to you from your thoughts and what you're thinking dominantly. Okay. So if you get to the root cause of what's going on and you finally get rid of it, then you can't think from that place anymore. You have to think from a new and better place because that old place is completely gone now. So you have those unwanted circumstances because there's still a baseline of thoughts within you that is not in the best light in relations to the things that you want. Okay. So for example, if you were dating someone or they're dating someone else now, or you're in a no contact situation, that is because previously, you were dominantly thinking in ways that were fearful for you. And with all that momentum, it caught up and then finally reached a pinnacle where it had to push out as an experience. Okay. So the way that you shift to experience experiences that you want to experience, okay, you have to start thinking today from a better place. And you have to think that way also tomorrow, which will be your present today, so that the next tomorrow could be better than the day before. You get what I mean? I know it's kind of like I'm saying it kind of, but I just want you to understand that you have those unwanted circumstances because you're still in a mindset that doesn't serve you. You're still in a mindset where you feel that your person doesn't want to be with you. You're still in a mindset where you feel that you're not good enough for the relationship. You're still in a mindset where you feel that your person can find someone else better than you and they'll start liking them. And that has to change because all that is saying is, I'm not good enough. And what you're always going to create from the I'm not good enough is experiences that make you not feel good enough even more. It's going to reflect and show you exactly the level of I'm not good enough you have been thinking about yourself within. Because life is a mirror, a reflection of what you're dominantly thinking. Okay. And the moment you shift, life shifts with you. The moment you stay dominantly thinking more favorably for yourself, life is going to start shifting and experiences will start shifting more in your favor. For example, you are in a 3P situation, right? And you keep looking at this 3P, you keep thinking about this 3P, you keep getting fearful about this 3P, you keep talking to people, your friends about this 3P, And then you notice that every day you wake up, you'll take action to go look at their page, or you'll wake up in the morning and you feel like something is missing, or you feel like you can't sleep, or you feel like you can't um, function normally during the day. It's because you're still embodying a version of you that is insecure, and you're embodying a version of you that is like doesn't want what they say they want. It's all about what you're embodying daily, because that is going to be what momentum builds up and pushes out an experience. And it's going to continuously do that until you check yourself and realize what you're thinking, and then things will start shifting. Okay, so like let's go back to the 3P situation. You only have that in your life as an experience because you were thinking about unfavorably of yourself in relation to your person, and or you were still having beliefs about relationships that weren't the best, because the version of you that is in the best relationship feels that love is great, love is amazing, you feel that you always get what you want, you feel that life in general is amazing. You are more dominantly towards loving as opposed to dominantly being in fear, which is why you pushed out those unwanted circumstances, because fear is going to push out unwanted circumstances. Love is going to push out wanted circumstances. So if you're having unwanted circumstances, then that means the embodiment within you is more fearful. And you have to start analyzing, okay, what am I really thinking? And you need to change that immediately, because your todays are creating your tomorrows. So, for example, if you were in a 3P situation and you finally stopped looking at the 3P, you finally stopped having conversations, you finally stopped and you was like, you know what? I'm not going to focus on this no more. I'm going to focus on myself. I'm going to tell myself I'm good enough. I'm going to tell myself I'm in the best relationship. I'm going to tell myself I deserve all the beautiful things instead. And you start telling yourself that dominantly more than being fearful about your person being with the 3P, what's going to happen is on the other side with your person, they'll either start losing feelings for the 3P. Them and the 3P will start getting into more arguments, and something will happen where that 3P situation has to disappear. And it's going to disappear on the level of the disappearance of the 3P in your mind. You get what I mean? So it's always matching the level of embodiment you have within yourself. Life is always matching the level of embodiment you have within yourself. So if you are experiencing unwanted circumstances, then that is a telltale sign that within you, you're embodying thoughts and feelings that the version of you that has it would not have. Your subconscious mind is always saying yes. So if you're constantly thinking fearful, you're telling your subconscious, I want to experience fearful experiences. It cannot say, oh, this is a fearful experience, I don't think you should push yourself, stop thinking this, unless your conscious mind gets in the way and says, I'm not doing this anymore, this is how we're going to think. Because your subconscious mind is on autopilot. So if you haven't changed consciously, deliberately, your thoughts for the better, then what's going to happen is you're just going to constantly work on autopilot with the subconscious thoughts, with the subconscious thought patterns that you've been having from young. You're going to keep manifesting the same BS. You're going to keep manifesting 3Ps in because you keep feeling like you're not good enough. And it's not the person, it's you. It's what you're thinking about yourself in silence, or what you think is in silence. Um, so to shift circumstances, you have to shift. And you do the shift by understanding what you're thinking that does not serve you, and you change that consciously until it becomes natural, until it's naturally you. Um, so that 3P would disappear. Your person will come back when you embody the version of you that is dominantly full of more confidence and love. And it starts with your thoughts about you in relation to everything in this world. So, for example, if you have an unwanted circumstance with money, you're still embodying the fear of not having money. You're still the version of you embodying that, which is why your world is meeting you at that level. Your world is always going to meet you at the level of embodiment that you have about a certain situation or thing. So if you're having an embodiment of fear when it comes to love, that is going to push out unwanted circumstances. And so you change that level of embodiment within you with your thoughts. You have to think more favorable about yourself. You have to let go of the past and understand that the past was only created by what you were dominantly thinking before. And you change, and don't think that your past always has to repeat itself. It will only repeat itself is if the same thoughts repeat themselves within you, or the same types of thoughts. If you every time you get in a relationship you think, at some point it's too good to be true, or that's going to push out, and you're going to think, oh, relationships are all like that, but it's just the way you were thinking. Because if that was the case, then every single person would be going through what you're going through. How is it that some people can have happy relationships for years and feel that it's the perfect relationship they wanted? Why is that? It's because they're more favorable in their mind. You can see what people think in their mind based on what they're going on in their experiences, because that's what pushes out. So you can see what someone is thinking based on what they're experiencing. If you see someone in a happy relationship and they have favorable circumstances, you know that person thinks really well for the most part. If you see someone and experiences that you would deem less favorable, then you will understand that that person thinks the way they think is less favorably. You can always see what people think by what's pushed out in their reality as well, and as well as for you. So you shift by shifting you, and your circumstances, they're gonna shift. Okay, there was never a time when I dated someone and I started getting back to my confidence where they didn't leave that third party. They've always left the third party once I shifted back into wholesome and confidence within myself, because that third party was only there was because I got fearful of my person leaving. I got fearful of them thinking they could find someone else. I thought there was someone else better than me in my reality, and I was disrespecting myself, which was why I wasn't getting favorable circumstances, because literally I was disrespecting myself first before I thought it was my person that was disrespecting me. I was having the thoughts first that I was going to be afraid of them leaving and things like that. And that's what pushed out. So, and every time I got back to my whole self and I felt like I didn't need what I thought I needed, my circumstances changed without me looking to see if they changed. So if you're still seeing like if something is changing, you're still dominantly not the version of you that you want to be yet. Because that, when you make that decision and you hit that pinnacle within, that you're like, no, I'm going to think the best way about myself. When you genuinely reach that, things will automatically change and show up. You won't have to see if things change. If you're still seeing if things are changing, you're not quite there yet. So to shift your circumstances is to get whole and complete back in with yourself without needing the validation from the outside. Once you get to the point where you don't need the validation from the outside and it's genuine and you settle in that embodiment, the shift happens automatically and it shows up for you without you having to look. If you're still looking, you haven't quite did the full embodiment. Your circumstances follow what you're feeling inside. So you have to make the conscious initiative to change the subconscious. You have to make the conscious initiative to change the subconscious, because the conscious is always on autopilot from what the conscious mind feeds it. For example, let's get into this a little deeper, okay? Your subconscious mind, before you got into a relationship, maybe wasn't the best. And then you get into a relationship. right? You still have some slight insecurities. And your conscious mind is not changing that, is not thinking better and more desirably. That whatever was on autopilot before is going to be even more amplified, even more now with pushing out experiences you don't want to have, because the conscious mind didn't change the subconscious. The subconscious mind can only change with a driven conscious mind to change it. Once it picks up a new belief, then that will be what would be on autopilot in the subconscious. And you will know when your subconscious has taken in a new belief, because have you wouldn't have the free will or take inspired actions from a place of insecurity. You wouldn't do it. It'll be impossible, because you're in a new state with a new set of thoughts, which will create a new set of actions. So you shift your unwanted circumstances by consciously shifting how you think about them. You got to get control of yourself. If you don't control your mind is going to control you. You're going to feel chaos, and it's going to be all over the place, and your experiences are going to reflect that back and show that to you. You got to get control of your mind. You have to do what it takes to invest to get control of your mind. When you get to a place where you don't need to check for 3D validation, it's pure magic. Everything shifts. They're just not shifting because you haven't still consciously, dominantly shifted into the new state. You want to get rid of that 3P, you got to treat that 3P like it doesn't exist. You want to attract more money, you got to stop thinking and being afraid every time a bill comes. You have to train your subconscious to think differently in order for the circumstances to shift. There is just no other way around it. And you don't want to make it seem like a job where it's like, oh my God, I have to do this. I have to change. I got to do this. You don't want to do it like that. It just takes a level of understanding. Okay, you know what? It's time for me to change. I'm not going to do this anymore. And you don't have to ever look to see if your circumstances are changing, because your circumstances naturally shift with you. So if you're genuinely shifting for the better, your circumstances will naturally do that. You won't have to question it, because it will just naturally show up for you. What seemed like out of the blue, just like what it seemed like out of the blue when your person left you, when you were dominantly thinking the worst, the opposite is also going to happen for favorable things. They'll happen what it seems like out of the blue the more you think favorably. And that's just how you shift it. By understanding you are what is creating, understanding that, okay, if I'm having a favorable circumstances, then that just means I'm not thinking the best. And it's all about taking accountability 100%. If you're not in a position where you feel like you can take 100% accountability for what you're thinking, then you're not ready to really change what you're experiencing. Because then you'll start playing the blame game. And that's not going to serve you until you fully take accountability and start shifting what's going on inside of you, and always remembering and understanding that my life is always reflecting the level of embodiment of whatever it is I'm embodying. That's what's going to push out. If I'm embodying insecurity, then, and I don't change that, and I don't maintain thoughts of security, then I'm just going to keep pushing out experiences that make me feel insecure even more, and just reflect like, okay, yes, this is what you were thinking. You were thinking insecure, so here's your experience. Because you're here on this earth to experience what you think. Okay. And you shift those unfavorable circumstances by consciously putting yourself in your mind, seeing you with what you want to have and not others. And you make that a place to dwell. You make that your dwelling place. You make what you want to have in your mind, your dwelling place. Because right now, your dwelling place is you seeing someone else with your person, is you feeling like money is hard to come by, you feeling like life sucks or life is hard. Who's saying that? You. So you have to say, you know what? Nah, I've been thinking this way and this way hasn't really been serving me. So you know what? I'm going to just think this way about myself. No matter what's happening out there, you know what? I'm at peace with myself. And I'm going to, from now on, I'm just going to keep thinking favorably about myself, because it's time that I actually start living what I want. It's time I start experiencing what I want. It's time I start feeling happy within myself. And I wonder if I am feeling happy within myself. The more you tell yourself that, and that becomes a belief, your circumstances will shift with little to no effort. The only effort it really took was you changing your thoughts for the better. Your actions will automatically come from your new thoughts, your new way of being, your new embodiment, because your free will comes from the state you're in. So if you're thinking better, you're in a better state, you'll take better actions. If you're thinking in ways that don't serve you, you'll take actions that won't serve you, which will create experiences that do not serve you. Okay, so you shift, the world shifts. It's not, I need to see validation from outside, then I shift. That just shows you that you're still the embodiment of the old version of you, which you will feel like your experiences are a revolving door that are not for the best. Okay, so you change your circumstances by changing yourself consciously without needing to see if they have changed. That's how you shift your circumstances. If you're still seeing if your circumstances have changed, if you're still searching, you're delaying your own, because you're still embodying the version of you that doesn't have it. Your circumstances follow who you're embodying, what you're embodying. So when you find yourself still checking, that's an embodiment of, I don't have it. And your world will know. Your world won't be able to create. It can only create at the limit of your embodiment. So take your focus off what doesn't serve you, because it's only serving back to you what you don't want to see, what you don't want to experience. Okay? You are the creator. So if you have unwanted circumstances, you are creating that. And to create something better is to think better. Okay? You want to make your mind a happy place for the most part. You want to make your body a happy place. You want your nervous system to be calm and happy, because that's who you'll be with your stuff. That's who you will be with your desires. That is who you will be. And you want to make that who you are. So the change happens every day to where it's natural, because you believe the worst about yourself to the point where you naturally feel unwanted, right? You did that. So you can change that too. So I intend that you shift your circumstances immediately by shifting yourself for the better, because it's time that you start thinking better about yourself anyway. It's time. And it's time that you maintain it, and it's time that you keep it up. Okay? Um, so yes, I have a new confidence alchemy course available. I also have removed the 3P course available too. That's really powerful. I got some great feedback on that as well. And coaching. If you're interested in coaching with me, you can find the link for that in the description box below. We'll pinpoint all those blocks to get rid of all of that, clear all of that resistance, so you can finally get what you want. And also, Create Your Future does have a free course. And if you're interested in that if you're interested in that as well, to pinpoint your blocks, then you can find the link for that in the description box below. So I intend that this has put the battery in your back for once and for all, to understand that today it's time to just erratically change how you think about yourself. It's time. Okay, your todays are creating your tomorrows. So if you're in an embodiment and thinking about things that you don't want today, it's going to push out in your tomorrows. So to change those circumstances today, just think the best way about yourself. Because who's better than you in your reality? Only the people you give the power to do that. And that has to stop because you are the best in your reality. Okay. And that just has to be the thought about you for the rest of your life. You are the healthiest in your reality. You are the happiest. You are the best. And there's no competition in your world. And that's who you need to embody every day. And you will, I can guarantee you, if that's who you genuinely embody, you will not have those experiences that you're having. They will shift and they will stay to how you want them to be, and you will experience a lovely life. So I intend that helps. And until next time, guys, see ya.